You join Barry Norman in Hollywood at the 59th Academy Awards ceremony to find out who's walked off with the laurels in the 1987 Oscars.
Good evening on the occasion of the biggest annual event in the movie calendar, Oscar night. It's what the producer of tonight's show, Sam Goldwyn Jr., calls the Super Bowl, or if you prefer, the FA Cup final of show business. It's a night, I suppose, of winners and losers, of manic laughter on the one hand and barely suppressed sobs on the other. Now, as I stand here in front of the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in downtown Los Angeles, which is where it all happens, you and the rest of the 1 billion viewers who I'm told will be watching these proceedings worldwide have the advantage of me. For you see, despite all the enthusiasm that's going on around me, nothing very much has happened so far. The stars in their stretch limos, some of them big enough for entire families to live in, haven't even arrived yet, and nobody knows who has won what. But it occurs to me that as you watch this, you very probably do know. Nevertheless, I thought it might interest or even amuse you to learn up front who the pre-match favourites are. So here goes. Best film, Platoon. Best director, Oliver Stone. Indeed, there's a widespread belief that Platoon could walk off with half a dozen or so Oscars. Best actor, Paul Newman, simply because people think that it's his turn. Best actress, Marlee Matlin from Children of a Lesser God, with a saving bet on Kathleen Turner for her work in Peggy Sue Got Married. But what of the formidable British contingent who between them have acquired more than 20 nominations in the various categories? Well, bad news. Hardly anybody seems to believe that either The Mission or A Room with a View can win Best Picture. And in fact, our strongest hopes seem to lie in the technical fields, editing, cinematography, music. As for the big awards, the glamour awards, Bob Hoskins could win Best Actor for Mona Lisa and Michael Caine Best Supporting Actor for Hannah and Her Sisters, while in the Best Supporting Actress category, which seems to be the most open of all this year, Maggie Smith might win for A Room with a View. Well, that's the way it all looks going in, so let's get on with it. But do join me after the show when I'll be talking to some of the, no doubt, modest winners and the disappointed, but I hope not too downhearted also rounds. For now, though, it's over to Oscar.
The Music Center of Los Angeles County. Welcome to the 59th Annual Academy Awards.
Good night.
Woo!
Good night to all of you.
A billion good nights.
Wherever you live in this weary world, whatever your problems may be at this moment.
Go to a movie tomorrow and you'll feel much better.
Das vidania.
Buenas noches.
Bonsoir.
Buona notte.
Gute Nacht.
Good night.
Hang ten.
Pleasant dreams.
I feel wonderful, just wonderful. I think that we've done very well. I mean, it would be nice to have won the Best Picture award.
But thank goodness we got one for Best Writing. It would be terrible if we hadn't, I think.
Is this the first Oscar your films have won?
Yes, that's right. The very first.
It's been a long time without this kind of recognition. Too long.
Yes.
Nominations, but no Oscars till tonight.
When we got there, Linda said, she turned around and said, you can't go down for a drink. You cannot go to, no, listen, you're not going down for a drink. No. I said, listen, I'm going for a drink. I've had enough of this. I go downstairs. Who's downstairs? Bill Hurt, Jimmy Wood, and Dexter Gordon. There's all four of us sitting in the bar toasting Paul Newman. I mean, then she turns up.
Were you toasting him before or after?
Oh, it was before. Oh, we all knew it was going to happen. Really? Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a bit sort of a bit of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, but come on, Bob. Wasn't there just a tinge of disappointment when she said, when he said, and the winner is?
Well, no. I sort of the way I handle these dues is I'll go for the do. You know, it's been a good do. You know, I'm not going to ruin the do by worrying where I'm going to get a prize all night. You know what I mean? But a great do.
I think it was a very popular award.
Me too. Unique, let's say that. Unique.
Were you surprised to win?
Yes, I felt so great, so wonderful.
And it must have been particularly nice getting the award from William Hurt.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Were you sorry for him that he didn't win too?
Yes, but everyone knows that he's a great actor, and there's always more years to come.
Well, well done indeed. Congratulations again.
I've only got one disappointment, which is Ennio Morricone for the score. I think he really deserved it, and I think he's a bit stunned, and I'm a bit stunned for him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was a lovely score, that, wasn't it?
Well, it's like also for his body of work. I mean, he deserves it anyway, and for this film would have been nice. But otherwise, no complaints. Soldier on. I think it was a good night. It was spread all over the place. You know, that was. I think no one won more than 4.
A lot of English people won.
And what an amazing night for the Brits. Did you know
Yeah.
we swept the technical awards? I mean, I hope, again, the government are watching. I mean, we don't half turn out good filmmakers.
I think it's important that independent films are getting mainstream recognition now in a way they haven't before, and that maybe it's an end to that onslaught of teen flicks we've had for the last few years.
It seems to me that the most popular award of all was the award to Paul Newman. Is that how you read it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and a big shock, the award to Michael Caine, too. You know, the thing that's funny is Michael Caine is always here when he's nominated. And he always comes, he's a regular, and the one time he stays away, he wins. And I think Paul Newman was quoted as saying is that I've been up 7 times, and I'm always there. If I stay home, I'll win, and it worked. I don't know whether it's just karma or what, but I think that was very much deserved. That was not just a sentimental award. That was a really legitimate, deserved one.
Yeah, it was a good performance. The moral for you, Christopher, is when you get nominated, don't turn up.
That's right. Well, as I say, it is always better to receive than to give.
Dylan, bad luck. I'm sorry you didn't win.
Never mind, never mind. I felt that I lost in very good company, and I'd rather lose in that company than win in lesser company, in a way. You know, that was one of the toughest categories that you could have entered in this year, I think, because everybody was really so good. And, you know, Michael's a great star, and he deserves it to be nominated 3 times, and it's his turn, and jolly good luck. And
well, I think, in fact, he's been nominated more than that. I think he's getting around 4 or 5. But you've been nominated a couple of times now.
No, never been nominated for the Oscar. No, I've won the BAFTA several times, but never for the Oscar, the big one.
I must say, you looked like somebody who was genuinely delighted.
I was genuinely thrilled, yes.
Were you surprised?
Yes, I was stunned. I was stunned.
But you shouldn't have been, because everybody had been tipping you to win that particular award.
Thank you, but you know, if you think of those other actresses, a lot of people were tipping, you know what I mean, and they were all, I wouldn't have wanted to vote, you know?
What did you make of it all this evening?
Well, I had a good time. It's always fun to show up at one of those big bashes of the year. It's a lot of fun.
And what about the awards? Did you feel they went to the right people?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to me, it's really, you know, being recognized by your peers like that in the nomination is really the big award, I think. And then it's a big excuse for an ad for the motion picture industry, really, which is not a bad thing. Right?
Did you have any commiseration, because you were nominated last year and alas didn't win? Did you feel any sympathy for the non-winners tonight?
No. I had a lot of good buddies out there that were nominated. Jimmy Woods, who fellow that I voted for, I thought he did a terrific performance in Salvador, and I'm glad to see him here tonight and hang out a bit. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sigourney Weaver has also said that she was sitting among you, and she said the amount of nervous tension and among the men up for the Best Actor award was amazing.
Well, it was a pretty tough category this year, and I guess it's always a big one, as is Best Actress and Best Picture, and there was tension, but a real camaraderie. I mean, we were all laughing because we figured Newman would win it, and he's a great actor, had a great career, and I'm sure he's very pleased, and it's nice that he did, I think. But we all thought, well, if there's any of us a dark horse, we'd just flip a coin for it and see what it was. But it was great to have a drink with my fellow actors, you know.
Well, that's pretty well what Bob said too. Yeah. You must have felt just a tiny bit disappointed when the announcement was made.
You definitely do feel disappointed, but not in any crushing way, because we're all young. We all have great careers ahead of us. The nomination for Bob, which was his first, and for me, and for Dexter Gordon, Bill Hurt had already won. I mean, for all of us, you know, we have a great career ahead of us, and Paul Newman has had a great career, and it's time he were honored, and I'm pleased that he was. You know, it could have gone another way, and I would have been just as pleased, mind you. But in all seriousness, there's always next year and years after that, and it was just great to be nominated, and great to be nominated in such a strong year.
I'm really happy that Marley, who just went by, won. I think she totally deserved it, and I was already astonished to be nominated. So I certainly, I don't feel disappointed at all.
You must have felt fairly confident tonight, because everybody was tipping Platoon to be the big winner of the big awards.
Well, I I felt that we had a good chance of winning. Actually, a little over 2 years ago when I read Oliver's screenplay, I had a premonition that we were going to win. And I don't believe in this sort of stuff, so I'm not like Shirley MacLaine. But I turned to my wife and I said, it's Academy Award time. I think we'll win it. And I'm going to leave and go off to the Far East to make this movie. And Ann said to me, do you think it'll make money? And I said, I really don't know. We've done over 100 million in America already.
That's amazing, isn't it, for a film like this?
It's an extraordinary event that is happening. The merging of the critical and the monetary so infrequently happens, and we are just so lucky and so fortunate that it happened.
Listen, I'm sorry you didn't win the award. I'd have voted for you if I could have done. Were you disappointed?
Oh, I think for a moment, of course. But I think that I feel actually quite wonderful right now, so I think it's all right.
You really enjoyed the evening?
You know what else? I think I'm very glad for Marlene.
How do you enjoy this, your first trip to the Oscars?
I might come again next year, I'm not sure. Spent most of the day in the back of a car or truck, caught in the traffic. But yeah, it was all right. Got some autographs, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, alas, I don't know what you did when they opened that envelope and they didn't read your name. You threatened it wasn't going to be pretty. How did you take it in the end?
I hit about 3 people at the back, but then the security guards got me and wrestled me to the ground, threw water over me. I was all right then. No, I didn't want one because, you know, if you get awards for your first picture, then where do you go for the second one?
Well, that's a philosophical way of looking at it.
The line award at the moment, anyway, the bottom line award. It's grossed $235 million so far, so...
That's the one that counts, isn't it?
Well, you didn't see me crying at the Academy Awards, did you? I don't want to swap.
And so, once again, it's all over for the 59th year. Oscar has done his stuff. I don't know about you, but I thought it was a better-than-average Oscar night, much enlivened by the eccentric behaviour of Miss Betty Davis. And as David Putnam pointed out, it was rather pleasant to hear all those British voices going up there to receive the technical awards. I know that sounds a touch jingoistic, but on such occasions, a little jingoism is perhaps permissible. In the end, they may have missed out on the big prizes, but even so, and on the whole, it was a very good night for British filmmakers. On which note, as the guests drift in and out of the Governor's Ball, from me at the Academy Awards in Hollywood, goodbye.